Hey guys, it's Harley from PNW Custom. Today, we're going to be setting up a 40-ounce Micro Reef full setup. This kit includes the aquarium, the light, the pump, the lids for the evaporation control on the top of the display, and the sump. We also have the additional accessories of the heater, the auto top-off, the temperature probe, and the cooling fan. On top of that, we have some extra items such as the microscape that is fit perfectly for this aquarium, live sand, and some extra cleaning kit that comes with the aquarium when you get it on a special sale. So let's dive in. We're going to start by unboxing the aquarium and just going through the contents here with you guys, showing you what comes inside the kit when you buy it as a full setup. Some of these items are additional extras and can be purchased with or without the aquarium. Here we have everything that's included in the box. Let's go ahead and see what's inside. We have the heater, we have the auto top off, some cleaning tools and tweezers. This is some filter media that comes with the kit. And then we have our live sand that is packaged for the Micro Reef. This in here is our liverock. So we'll pull that guy out. And it's just packaged up right now. We have a couple other items such as our cooling fan here. And the main pieces. So here is the auto top-off reservoir. And the most exciting piece, the aquarium itself. So this is the 40-ounce Micro Reef, and the kit comes ready to run with all of the included features of having the aquarium pump, the lids, the display, the sump, and there's a light included inside of the box. We're going to go ahead and open that up here shortly. For now, just pull off any of the pieces that were remaining from shipping. Let's go ahead and open up the auto top-off reservoir. So here's the tank, the auto top-off reservoir. We have the pieces for the filter, the temperature probe, and the cooling fan, tweezers, sand and skate, auto top off itself, and the heater. So we'll pull out any of the shipping material that was used in transit. The lid is taped on, so I'll go ahead and remove the tape as well as the paper that covers the lid. This just prevents it getting scratched in transit. And the film masking covering the display lid. In this box is the light. This light is our desktop reef light and also has the power supply for the pump and light, the light itself, a screw to hold it onto the display, and an instruction manual. When you get the light, the first thing you're going to do to set the light up is remove the screw from the bag and install it into the light display. So you can use a screwdriver for this, or you can just simply screw it with your fingers. To clip the light onto the Micro Reef, you slide the cable behind the bracket, slide the light onto the bracket itself, and screw it down in place. Turn the light 90 degrees, and you're going to be ready to install it down. For now, we're going to go ahead and move the light out of the way, pull the display tank off, and pull out the sump. We're going to pull the wire out for the sump, making sure that we have enough cabling coming out, and put it through the back of the sump cutout so that it is out of the way when we push the sump through. Now that the cable is out of the way, we can simply get ready to slide the sump in. But first, we're going to take out our filter media pieces. In the bag comes a bunch of this filter media floss. Simply just rip off a little bit. Don't use too much. There's going to be a lot of extra. And place it into the first compartment, just like so. Then we're going to grab our biomedia. The biomedia is going to be placed right into the middle compartment here, and it doesn't need to be arranged in any particular way. Once that's all set, we can slide the micro sump underneath here, put on the lid for the sump, and we can move on to the display itself. So here's our display. Slide the display with the turn drains down and hook up the nozzle. The nozzle just simply slides onto the silicone tube and locks it in place. Now we're ready to add sand. The sand portions are already particularly sized for the micro reef. You can dump the sand right in and spread it out to make sure that it has a good spread. If you have a little bit extra sand, you can feel free to pull it out in case it's a bit much for your liking, but this should give you a good amount, about an inch underneath the sand bed here. Now we have our rockscape. We're going to pull the rockscape out of the towel that is keeping it wet and keeping it moist in transit. All right, now we got our rock installed there. Now's a good time to introduce you to one of our new products. This is our drip tray. It simply is a way to effectively keep any spills from getting on your table or counter space. The micro reef fits perfectly inside of there with an inch of room around the entire area. When we go ahead and fill the micro reef up, I'm sure you'll see some drips come on out, and this tray is going to do the best job of keeping them from spilling on the table. All right, now that we are filling the display up, the water is going to start going down the return and down the drain, and we're almost full. Perfect. So that looked like it was just enough water to get the tank going. We'll probably add a little bit more water here in a second, but for now, the tank looks pretty good. Now is a good time to talk about some of the accessories we're going to add in. We have the heater, and we also have the auto top off. The heater is a simple thing to add into the aquarium. So let's go ahead and put it in real quick. This simply comes right out of the box and is a USB powered, so it's really easy to power it no matter if you're going to use a battery bank or a wall outlet. You have a little silicone suction cup that you can use to attach it to the side. However, we're going to pull this off for now, and we're just going to push it right in front of the pump. All right, so you can push the heater right through the back of the sump, into the display, and right into the front of the pump itself. Now we'll get set up for the auto top off. The auto top off consists of the power supply, the auto top off sensor, the pump for the auto top off, tubing for the auto top off, and the various accessories such as the check valve and the piece to hold it into the aquarium. At the bottom, there's also a user manual so that you can learn all of the specs of keeping the auto top off working properly. We're going to start by installing the auto top off sensor. This sensor simply is a magnetic sensor, and it's going to sit right above the side of the pump. So we push this through the back of the sump and put it right above the pump itself. Make sure that the sensor stays vertical and that you don't have a horizontal kink to it, or else it will not have the proper water level. Now that we have the proper water level set inside of here, we can hook up the power supply and the pump on the other side. So we're gonna take the pump, hook up the tubing to the pump, And we're gonna then put the pump inside of the reservoir itself. Lots of steps here, but this is for the full setup. So this is to do everything from start to finish. So we're gonna hook our line up to the pump. We're going to pull the lid off of the auto top off reservoir and the line all the way out. You'll notice there is a little notch for the cable of the auto top off pump. Put the pump on in there. And we're going to cut the line for the auto top off to install the check valve right here before it goes into the aquarium to keep it from back siphoning. Grab your check valve and make sure the arrow is pointing up. We're going to take our tube and we're going to slide the tube up through the hole here. Install the check valve right onto the bottom of the tube. And now we can push the tube back in with the pump and the check valve is installed in place. So now the auto top off is almost ready to be set up. We have the cord coming off here. This is going to plug into the side of the pump on the auto top off on this side. And the power supply plugs into the other side of the auto top off itself. Now the auto top off there is installed, and we'll just hook up the line from the reservoir into the aquarium. Go ahead and measure out how much line you're gonna need and cut to size. Now we're gonna take the clamp for the auto top off and we're going to install it into the aquarium itself. So start by screwing on the back clamp portion to keep it clamped against the back of the sump. And then we have the main screw that's going to keep tension on the tube to ensure that it doesn't fall out. So now that we have installed the auto top off clip, tighten it down into the correct space. You'll notice there's a little notch there. This auto top off reservoir clip goes right on that little notch. Grab the line from the auto top off reservoir and run it into the clip itself. Over the top and into the hole for the clip. Now, it seems like everything's installed. We're gonna do some wire management behind the scenes and plug everything in. We have a lot of cables here. Between the temperature probe, the pump, the light, the fan, the auto top off, the heater. There's a lot going on back here. So let's start to organize this and make it all a little bit easier. We're gonna start with the auto top off itself. We're gonna pull all of the cords for the auto top off to one side and pull the temperature probe out. We're just gonna start by organizing everything in its kind of individual areas, making it easier to understand what is where and what is gonna have things plugged in. This is the light, pump, and the heater. Let's get our power supply plugged on in. And this is the power supply that we're gonna use for the light and the pump itself. So now we know where these two are gonna be plugged into. We have the heater. We're gonna get a USB block for that one. And then the auto top off is going to be plugged in itself as well over here. I'm gonna plug that in, but unplug the pump portion so that it doesn't run dry currently. All right, and now it's just time to zip tie it all down, get it all in an easier fashion to manage, and make it look pretty. So the pump is a little bit low. We're gonna add a little bit more water into the display here. So we're gonna fill the water up to the water engrave line in the sump. That is just a visual place so that you can see exactly when it's time to top the aquarium off. So as the water is slowly draining back down in there now, you can see the water level is rising into the sump, and it's going to fill up over the water level and touch the water level sensor for the auto top off. Currently it's flashing, so we'll be able to tell once it stops flashing and becomes solid that the water level is where it should be. Almost there, and that should be good now. All right, so you see the auto top off sensor changing. That's it signaling that it has now filled up to the capacity that it is needing, and it is a solid color because it is good for operation. So we have the aquarium fully operating now. We can finish setting up the auto top off. The heater is all set up, and then we're done. So now we're gonna add water to the auto top off reservoir. So you're gonna fill that up here, and just right to the 1400 milliliters. Plug it on in. Now we're gonna plug in the pump for the auto top off into the auto top off itself for the sensor. So that's plugged in here. Put the lid on, and now our auto top off and our Micro Reef is fully set up. So this tank took about 20 minutes to set up from start to finish, from the tank itself, the pump, the auto top off, the heater, the cooling fan, the temperature probe. Everything is all set up here. And now we're excited to grow this tank out, add corals, some invertebrates in there, and maybe even a fish. So stay tuned.